Welcome back. Another episode of 15 Good Minutes. Coach B here, just chopping it up with the fellas. LB, how you doing, man?
Wonderfully excellent.
Uh-oh. All right, I like it. I see what you did there. Freddie, how you
That's
doing?
what my guy.
I'm good. How about you guys?
I'm good. We were just talking about the weather. I didn't get a chance to ask you, LB, have you gotten out since?
Oh yeah. I went out yesterday. I just came in today. Yeah.
We can't get out at all.
Really?
It is
Wow.
8 inches of nothing but ice.
Nice. Yeah.
Temperature hasn't been above 18
Hmm.
since Saturday. So
Hmm.
it snows overnight. The next morning, it's you can't
Yeah,
even
yeah.
you can't even break it. And Freddie was talking about, how in Texas in some areas they didn't pre-treat the roads. They did that here, but to date, and right now we're recording on Tuesday, we haven't had a plow hit our neighborhood yet at all,
Mm.
at all.
Mm.
Whether from the HOA or from the county.
Right.
So to Freddie's point, I mean, I work remotely, but neighbor across the street, he's trying to get out, can't
Hmm.
do it. I mean, our hill isn't significant, but it's slight.
Yeah, it's enough.
And it's when I tell you it's a sheet of ice, all the kids is doing is sliding down the street in the trash can top like we did when we was kids. Boom, because it's just ice.
Yeah.
Even with the like Freddie was talking about sunny, it was bright today, but we haven't cracked 32 degrees yet, man. So yeah, this is day one, two, three. This is day three for us, and definitely day four. And schools are already, closed out here for both Wednesday and Thursday. So
Oh, Thursday's well.
that's why I was curious to see, like out there where you're at, close to Damascus, if things
Yeah.
were you
Yeah,
you
they
obviously got
plowed.
better
Yeah, they
cover.
came in I had my guy came and plowed my house, my driveway Monday early, Monday morning, because I was in the bed when he came, which means I had to get out the bed, get dressed
To
to
move
go
on.
outside and pay
Yeah,
him.
yeah.
So but yeah, he came Monday and they at that time they hadn't plowed my court. I live in the end of a court. They hadn't plowed the court, actually down to the bottom of the hill, no less. But I don't know, later on that afternoon they came through and plowed one time, and then today another plow came through and widened the road a little bit because it was like one pass.
Yeah.
But they came through today and hit it again. And once I get up my hill,
Yeah.
it's all good the
That's
rest
the
of the
way it
way.
is for us as
Yeah.
well. And that's the sad part is that, we're both in the DMV. You've had multiple passes. We haven't had one. And we just need the one so we can just get if you can get
Right.
to out the secondary roads, you can get to the main drag,
Right.
you're fine. But it's
You
you
can't
can't
get
get out
yeah.
of there. So
Yeah.
another couple days of that. But I mean for me, it's I said I work from home, no big deal. I watch a lot of sports, whether it's a work day or not, which feeds into this this show. Um, I want to talk a little bit today about, and LB and I were just talking about it before Freddie came on. I call it the pivot. So, in my opinion, football is over, even though there's a Super Bowl to be played. For all practical purposes, it's over. It was pretty much over for me when the NCAA tournament took place because I was really vested in that. And I did watch Championship Sunday last weekend. But
Who
now,
did I ask? Who's in this? I don't know who's in the Super Bowl.
Seattle and New England.
New England? Wow.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
like hell with Brady. We good.
So I don't, I don't have, and even when I was watching MLB, I mean, we talked about this last week. I really didn't have a dog in the fight, regardless. If I was
Mm.
pulling for anybody, it was probably the Rams. Um, and I'm not taking anything away from Seattle. So I mean, I'm interested to see when we get to that point what the viewership is, what the TV
Mm.
ratings are, because the last time those two played was the one where
Right.
Seattle should have ran the damn ball, give it to
Yeah.
Marshawn Lynch.
Yep.
Remember that?
Yep.
And
Yep.
they got cute. And
Hmm.
what
Pete
was that? What was that
Pete
coach's name? The
Carroll.
one that just got fired from Vegas. He was a coach then,
Pete
right?
Carroll.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Pete Carroll was the coach. Yep.
Yeah, we talk
Hmm.
about that a lot, where you can overcoach instead of just letting them play. And at that point in time,
Hmm.
Marshawn Lynch would fall
The
down for
beast.
7 yards.
Yes, he was killing people.
He go
Yeah, man. Come on.
first and goal. So I think you're going to see a lot of reruns of that over the next
Hmm.
week or so. So I want to talk a little bit about men's college basketball today because Tuesdays when they re-rank, we record on Tuesdays, and everybody's about 20 games in, Freddie. So I want to just start getting some ideas on what you guys think about um, just the top 10. So just if you haven't looked at it, for this week, 10 is Houston, 9 Illinois, 8 Iowa State, seven Michigan State, six Gonzaga, five Nebraska, four Duke, three Michigan, two UConn, and number one Arizona. So I'm gonna start with you, Freddie. Of the top 10, how many have you actually seen so far this year? And what are your thoughts on where the season is right now with regards to those 10?
I've seen a little bit of Arizona. I think a couple weeks ago when they were blowing somebody out by 30 or 40. The only reason why I was watching that game because I wanted to see if Bryce James would play. He didn't play,
Nope.
so
They'll win by 30.
exactly. So I didn't see.
Oh, Bryce James is other is that
Yes,
the
yes.
James we I
No,
didn't
that's
know
another.
I
This
didn't
is
know it was
another one.
another one.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah. So
Is he a
that
freshman? I'm sorry.
yeah, he's a freshman. Yeah.
Freshman, right? I think so, right,
Yeah,
Freddie?
yeah, he's a freshman. No,
Okay.
got no burn. So that was the only the reason why I was like, this will be a time. I saw, a little bit of UConn, not a lot, because obviously, you still got the football part
Yeah.
season. So the only team that I'm paying the most attention to is probably UNC. But of all the teams that are in the top 10, my question is Arizona, are they really that good?
I
Are
think
they
they are, Freddie. And I'll tell you this. Are they in the top 10? Let me see. No,
they're
the
number
team that
one?
they beat last night is now 13.
BY was that BYU?
Yes. And,
BYU.
and BYU is legit. They have, who everybody's saying is going to be the consensus number one NBA draft pick in AJ Devonta. This game was at BYU last night, and for the longest time, Freddie, Arizona was, doing it. BYU came back, and I'm telling you, went down to the wire, and it would have been real easy for a lot of other teams to lose that game. I think that Arizona has a legit squad. To your point about UConn, I haven't seen them a lot, and they got a two. But for me, I think the three best teams are Arizona, Michigan, and Duke. I mean, they're giving UConn the two, but to your point, I haven't seen them enough, so I don't want to take anything from them. But I've seen the others. So yeah, I think Arizona can hold their own.
I saw a little bit of Duke. I really question are they really that good?
It's a fair question.
But the biggest question mark really is Nebraska. Like Nebraska is like, they're 20 and 0 and they're number five. I was like, are they now I have not seen them, right? So I'm just like, are they really that good? Everybody else is in the top 10. It's kind of like, record wise, okay, I'm not
Yeah.
shocked what the record is, but are they really 20 and 0 good?
Well, that was a question I had too for both of you. Do you think, and I may be premature in asking this, but is Nebraska to college basketball what Indiana was to college football this year?
In my opinion, because in my notes I have the Cornhuskers really. Because I mean, who when did they start playing basketball? They've been playing this whole time, but we never paid attention to them because they never been done anything.
Correct.
So yeah, I don't yeah. I haven't seen them play either, so I can't, say if they are or aren't. But I just off name recognition alone, I'm like, yeah, what are they doing? And how are they getting the top 10?
Well, OB, I mean, they're in a tough conference and they're winning.
Yeah,
And here's the
yeah.
thing.
But the question, well, what I didn't look at, and which I could do now instead of talking about it, is see who they've played in their conference. If they beat Maryland, I mean, what are you saying? You know what I mean?
They beat number seven Michigan State, right?
And
But they
they and
did
they
beat Michigan
beat
State.
Illinois.
And they
And they
beat Illinois.
beat
But
Illinois.
most importantly, Freddie, right now, as we're recording, they're beating Michigan right now.
Yeah,
At this moment.
yeah.
That's a great game, a 3-5 game. Now, I'm not going to see it come to the end, but
Two
I wouldn't
points,
be
but yeah.
surprised if Michigan wins that. But here's the thing, LB, they're in the second half already and they're up. I think we have to your point,
Yeah,
like
you gotta give them some
Nebraska
props.
really, I
Yeah,
I have to say, yeah.
yeah. Especially
Um,
with Michigan State losing to Rutgers at the moment.
that's what I was telling LB before we came on air. There's something about Terrible Tuesdays, and I have a theory, and we used to have it when I was coaching as well. There's a game that this weekend that everybody's lined up to see, and it's Michigan State against Michigan. And I find it
Mhm.
ironic that those two teams are
Are
losing at
losing.
this point
Yep.
right now.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Wondering, Freddie, do they do that thing where you say you ain't looking ahead, but you
Hmm.
really are? Um, Yeah, because I mean Rutgers, come on, man. I didn't,
Hmm.
not hating, but damn.
They should beat Rutgers easily.
Correct.
Hmm.
These road games are when teams on Tuesday are typically when teams kind of struggle. Um, I haven't seen, and I don't know if either one of you guys, I haven't seen Iowa State and they're showing up as an 8. Have either one of you had a chance to see? I have not.
No, I have I make this acronym. I have HSTP. Haven't seen them play. I'm-
Typical
Well,
government
no.
government guy with yet another acronym. That's what I need right there.
And I got it all through my notes because out of all the teams that's on here, the top 10, I think I've seen three of them play.
So
And the
wouldn't it have
rest
been
of,
easier to just have the ones you saw play and
well,
not this?
I made the list and I was just going there and putting my notes together in case I
Oh,
had
in
anything else.
order? Yeah, yeah.
Like Duke, for example. I'm not rooting for them just because they're Duke. Our ACC history, but Duke, you don't root for
Yeah.
Duke.
Yeah.
That's just what we do here. Um, I
I'm with
have seen
Freddie
Arizona.
about them. I question them, but I try not to say it on the air too much because I'll get the comments from people say, yeah, you're a UNC fan. True, but
Mhm.
I just don't know if Duke is legit. I thought Duke had a shot last year when they had what's the kid's name at Dallas now, Freddie?
Flag.
Yes.
Like,
Hmm.
Right. And they didn't win at all. And I don't know if Boozer is strong enough to carry him that way. And I think when we get down to the conference championships, maybe we'll have a better idea. But to your point, Fred, I mean, they're 19-1. And so what I was looking at as I was putting today's podcast together was, okay, listen, you 20 games in. I think if you were suspect, because they're playing the same teams to LB's point that the other people in their conference are playing, and you know, um, I got to give them that. Houston, I have seen. I like Coach Sampson. They start, me and Frey talk about this all the time. We don't really put a whole lot of stock into preseason stuff. It doesn't mean diddly. And Houston seems to always be in the top 3 or 4 because they play strong defense. What I say about Houston, and I say it always, with the exception of this year, they got this freshman guard who's really, really, really good. But the rest of their team, they all look like they're 40 years old. They look like a bunch of old men that, hang out at the liquor store in the parking lot and will take your lunch money. But they play hard. They play hard. Obviously, I've seen Michigan State play a lot. I have not seen much of Gonzaga. And like LB was saying, UConn. So I have seen a lot of Arizona, Michigan, Michigan State, and Houston. And if you look, Freddie, just outside the top 10, those next two, Texas Tech and Purdue, could easily, I think, um, crack that top 10. They already have at some point, but they're out. I've seen both them play, and I think those are two really good teams as well.
I think any of those teams, probably the next 5 or 6 teams outside of the top 10, could probably make the top 10. I think it's just a matter of um, who you play and when you lose. Right?
When you say
I
when
think
you
that
lose, you mean like win in the season?
yeah, I think that's like when you look at UNC. I think UNC is, and Rusty knows how I've been on them this year, right?
It just beat UVA though.
Right, I saw that, which wasn't looking good at first, but I think with UNC, for example, they could be considered based on the resume. I think they could be top 10. You played Kansas, you played Michigan State. I think they played somebody else in the top 10. I think. Well, I think they could be, but when you factor in those bad losses that you have
Really
back to
bad
back and
losses.
whatever,
Yeah.
I think it's a matter of they've only lost 4 games. So I think I'm not being a homer or anything, but I think a lot of it is a lot of the teams you have what Illinois has 3 losses. So it's just a matter of when those losses
Yeah.
occur. You know,
But one of the things before we get too far, I wanted to say in the top 10, we got Gonzaga. I
Yeah.
think they're number 6.
Correct.
I got no faith in Gonzaga just on their history alone. I don't,
You
again,
saying they're gonna let you down? They're gonna get
right.
you.
I don't know who's on the team. I don't know who they played, but historically, they're going to disappoint us at some point when the tournament starts. So I don't even count them. They could leave 6 slot blank. Don't even put a team in there because Gonzaga is going to be trash at some point. They're going to disappear. Michigan State, obviously because of Cam, we watched Michigan State.
Mm-hmm.
The two things that bodes well for Michigan State is Mrs. Spears, the senior guard, him, and the coach Izzo. Those two things combined, I think, give them a big leg up over everybody else in the top 10, top 20.
One thing about Michigan State, they're going to play hard. They're going to be well coached. They're going to play good defense, and they're going to be fundamentally sound. I don't know if it's going to be enough with Izzo to get them to win.
It's been 25 years.
The way he coaches and the way he builds a team, this is what you want, right? But is it enough? Because hell, he had a good team last year. He had a good team the year before that. It's just, and you got a good team this year, right? It's just something.
A lot of people make the comparison, Freddie, that there's not, to LB's point, there's not a hell of a lot of difference between what you see with Michigan State and what you see with Gonzaga. The difference is that Coach Izzo gets to more Sweet 16s, and he has a natty under his belt. But you take those two away, if I were to put them record for record and not put the name of the team above it, you would have difficulty picking which one was which. So,
man, I think he could probably get to elite 8. I think, he probably get the Final Four.
Things would have to Final Four, Freddie. Things have to align in the region that they put you in.
Exactly.
You got to get a good walk.
Based on his resume, you could think that it could, based on his resume, right? So it's just, you've seen this story enough. Is it going to be enough?
My thing for Michigan State this year, and LB and I have talked about it too, is not only were they not ranked preseason, they weren't in the first group of not ranked people. They were so far away.
Down,
you know what I mean? And it's like for them to be where they are at a 7, is that what they're? Yeah, like at a 7. I think it speaks to what LB is saying with regards to the program and the coaching and just getting the most out of your kids. But then to Freddie's point, it's going to come down to you got to win multiple games in a row. You can't have a mistake. And Sparty gets there. I'll say that. But I'm at a point now where I really want to see them, get back to the Final Four, and be relative at that level. So we got a few weeks before we get to that. I just wanted to kind of get you guys' initial thoughts now that we're 20 games in. And I suspect over the next 2 to 3 weeks, everybody's going to be watching more basketball. Before we sign off, as I take a look at this, Sparty's getting a little closer, down by 5. Michigan's down by 2. I don't care if both those guys win by 1. I don't want either one of them to lose going into this Friday's game, because I think it's going to be a big one. Before we check out, let me see what the guys got something to say. I'm gonna start with you, Freddie. What you got to say today, man?
There was a comment that somebody sent it to me about Cooper Cup, and he said that the Rams encouraged him to retire and so on and so forth, and allegedly that the Rams told other teams to lowball him with his offer and stuff like that. And my position is this: Cooper Cup. It's ironic that these allegations come out after you beat the team that cut you, right? Why didn't you say this when they cut you and you signed in the first place? That's first and foremost. Second, guess what? Cooper Cup, it's not like you were a big part of Seattle's offense this year. It's not like you were a huge part of the Rams offense last year. So should you have retired? You lucked up into a situation. You wanted to keep playing. You're from Washington State. You're in the Super Bowl. You beat the team that cut you. Go play in the Super Bowl, try to win, and call it a day. That's all.
Fair enough. LB, he left you 30 seconds, man. What you got?
No, I need more time than that. Since Freddie The Freddy's supposed to be like a minute, man. You take the whole time, man. It's supposed to be a minute. You're supposed to say your point and get out. You didn't get out. Hit it and quit it, man. You know the move. Hit it and quit it.
Hey,
I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna leave with LB next week. You guys enjoy the weekend. If you snowed in, hopefully you guys will get out. Stay safe. We'll talk to you guys later. We're out.